Okay. All right, Darryl. I spoke to you January of last year. So what? And that's the last time, and you were doing big things even then. So what have you been doing from then until now?
I've been writing some new music. I just released this new single, Bulletproof. Um, dealing with the issues that are going on in the country right now. Um, Writing a bunch of new tunes. Gonna probably put out an EP sometime in 2021, and just trying to stay positive and keep my head above water. Create some
Okay.
good music.
No, and that you don't have a problem with that. That's for definite sure.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm going to just toggle backwards. How has the pandemic affected you, and what ways were you able to create during the slowdown?
Um, the pandemic definitely made it so that there was no direct interaction with other musicians. So, I have to find different ways to create. So, fortunately, the technology allows us to, you know, create music and send files back and forth via the internet and stuff like that. So, um, that process has changed somewhat, but it's also made for a more collaborative process.
Hmm.
Fortunately, my day job, I'm able to work from home, so it hasn't affected me as much as it maybe. I'm sure it's affected a lot of other people. My family's safe, which makes it easier for me to focus on music and um, because I realize I'm extremely blessed in that situation. It makes me want to work harder to create something positive for everybody.
Right, right. And what what did you learn about yourself during this time?
I learned that I am not the best time manager. I don't know that that's necessarily new to the COVID situation, but you know, it's it's
Hello?
sorry. It's I said it's a challenge to manage your time in these situations.
Right. That's for sure. Especially when you kind of frozen, if that's a good word.
Yeah,
So let's get into your latest project, Bullet. Tell me about that.
bulletproof.
How did that come about? Bulletproof.
Um,
And I'm thinking
bulletproof was
of
just
actual bullet.
no, it's bulletproof. It was a song that I had in my head for a long time, and the story of it kind of kept changing. With all of the different situations, you see black men get murdered left and right, and it was something that I felt I had to write about. And then when the George Floyd situation happened, that just kind of threw it into overdrive, and just it was my way of speaking to those issues, but also trying to offer some kind of hope and positivity in the midst of chaos. And
Yeah.
I got to write with some really good friends, and um, I'm happy with the end result.
Yeah, I love the song. It puts me in the mind of Marvin Gaye's "What's Going On," but just with a more instrumental feel to it. So it's a beautiful song.
Well, thank you. I
And
appreciate that. That was actually my goal, was to create something that was, in that that style, but without copying it or you know making it my own.
it's interesting that you said that, which leads me into my next question. And it is just definitely about creativity. What advice can you give other musicians who's run into a creative funk where they can't compose music, yes, especially now?
Um, I find if you're just open to everything that's out there, because sometimes
Mhm.
if I listen to a lot of other music, it makes me it kind of stirs the creativity in me, um, and you just I think you just have to keep your eyes and ears open to everything that's around you, because you never know where a melody or a lyric um, is going to come from. a lot of the lyrics in my song come from conversations that I've had with people, where in the middle of the conversation, I'll say something or they'll say something. And I go, oh, I got to write that down. That's good. You know? Mm-hmm. So you just have to be open to your surroundings, and just be not be afraid to let it flow when it happens.
Okay. Would you consider Bulletproof one of your favorite projects from this year?
You know, I think Bulletproof is maybe the most important song I've ever written, because my motivation was not about selling records or being on the radio or anything. It's like, this is a story that needs to be told, and I wanted to offer something real and something positive. So I feel like it's the most important thing to me that I've written, and I don't care if I make any money at all. It's like, I want people to hear this message and hopefully give them something to think about and something to be hopeful for.
Okay. And on a political front, what would you like to see from this election, and how do you plan to make or hold lawmakers accountable in the Bay Area?
What I would like to see is for people to be responsible for their actions, and for everybody to think about the common good, not just be selfish in their vote, selfish in their lawmaking. Part of why things are so divided is because people are only thinking about themselves. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy. I mean, the one thing God asks us to do more than anything is to love each other, and you can't love each other stepping on your brother's neck. That's just not, whether that be literally or figuratively. So right. I think people have to open their eyes and open their heart and be willing to sacrifice a little bit of what you got to help somebody else who has nothing. It's way too important. Rich people want to still be rich, but you can be rich and still help other people. It's just, right. People have to stop being so selfish.
Did you like?
Oh, go ahead.
No, finish what you were saying.
I was gonna say, as far as what I plan to do to hold people accountable, I'm voting in every election. I don't care if it's for the dog catcher, Mm-hmm. And in my songwriting, I'm gonna write pop songs and whatever, but I'm never gonna not use my voice to speak on issues that are important. Because if I have an audience of 2 people or 2,000 people, you need to use your voice responsibly. So that's always going to be something that's important to me.
Right, to use your platform.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and then just being a Black man in America, and just with like you said, with Bulletproof, how do you feel now that you've expressed yourself and seen with another set of eyes what's going on? How do you feel as a Black man in America now?
As a Black man in America, I feel like it's interesting to see non-Black people seeing what we've been seeing our whole lives. So, mm-hmm. And that's part of what Bulletproof is about. It's like, this is nothing new. That's why, the graphic of this song really illustrates. I don't know if you've seen the art, the cover art for the single.
Yes, I did.
If you blow it up, it turns into something else. And the message behind that is, this is not new. This has been going on forever. Fortunately now we have camera phones and people are seeing things that we've seen all along. So, as a Black man, I'm happy that more people are aware of it, but until people take responsibility for their actions or inactions, nothing's going to change. And that's why, you gotta speak. Silence is not an option.
Right.
And it's, racism is not just about Black people. People are voting and making decisions that are completely against their own self-interest just because they want to keep somebody else down.
Right.
You know, it's crazy.
And what do you have to say to the younger generation?
Learn your history, because if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. And understand how government works. I've had so many conversations with young people that get upset and say, well, you know, this doesn't matter and that doesn't matter. Well, it doesn't matter because you don't understand the process. You know, we have power in our vote, as we're starting to see now. All these places like Atlanta and places, you know, where there's a big population of African American people, they're showing up, and it's making a difference. So we got to make a difference every time. You know, you gotta know what people stand for who are representing you. Don't just complain about it when it doesn't work out. So
that's right. And how is a voter turnout where you're at?
Voter turnout here has been really good. I mean, I'm in California in the Bay Area, so people here are pretty politically minded. Although I gotta say, hashtag hoods off, because people that I've known for a long time that I thought I knew are on the complete opposite end of the spectrum.
Wow.
But that's okay, because now you know, with your hood off, I can see who you are.
That's right. So the good news is you have a very, very great song out that's just exposing everything, even things like that, you know. And what more do you look to do with that record or that single?
Well, you know, I want that message to just spread as far and wide as possible. You know, it's interesting. The song's doing really well in Europe right now. People in the UK are just eating it up, which I wasn't even going to release it there because I didn't think it would resonate. But, you know, I just want people to hear it and be moved by it and inspired by it. You know, because I think it's a song that speaks to the very moment that we're in right now. And,
right.
You know, if it ends up being an anthem for this moment, I'll be super happy about that.
Okay, I don't think that's going to be a problem. It's definitely a group.
Well, tell everybody.
I'm definitely going to do that.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So where can our listeners follow you and download the music?
We are on Spotify, iTunes, CD Baby, Amazon. You can go to the Agape Soul website. All the music is there. You know, I encourage people to add it to their Spotify playlist, share it with other people, because this is about the message and not me or anybody or any. It's really about the message.